though. Shoot the Breeze topic number 3 says the alt right you haven't heard about. The alt right you haven't heard about. This is going to be an interesting one. Let me just say this right now. This takes us to an article. Got to make sure you guys can see it, just so Jacadero knows. Whenever you put up like a share screen, you have to go in and hit add to what's it called again? Let me see. You have to hit add to stage when you do it. So just so you know.
Loud and clear.
Yes, sir. So you see the title, the alt-right you haven't heard about. If you consider Black women to be unwavering bastions of progressive thought, I'm going to disrupt your programming. As inspiring as it can be when Black women are on the liberal side of your favorite ideas, they are not immune to becoming a part of the white nationalist propaganda machine. Divestors are what happens when the alt-right meets Black women. There has been a great deal of discourse. There has been a great deal.
Look here, Bukhari, you're not going to like this one. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, there has been a great deal of discourse about the overlap between incels and white supremacists, but divestors, Black women who represent a form of gendered fascism, are one of the most recent groups to join the alt-right sphere. If this seems alarming to you, it should. Black women are not immune from fascism, and no, I'm not talking about Candace Owens. This community is far more than one person and very accessible. I want to make sure that people understand what the alt-right is, because even though it is invested in white identity, it does not have to be white people who enact it. The same is true for any system of oppression. Quote, the alternative right, commonly known as the alt-right, is a set of far-right ideologies, groups, and individuals whose core belief is that white identity is under attack by multicultural forces using political correctness and social justice to undermine white people and their civilization, end of quote. The Anti-Defamation League defines it as the alt-right, short for alternative right, is a segment of the white supremacist movement consisting of a loose network of racists and anti-Semites who reject mainstream conservatism in favor of politics that embrace implicit or explicit racism, anti-Semitism, and white supremacy. Divestors retain a set of far-right ideologies, believing that Black women are burdened by the Black community, specifically Black men, and should divest as a form of Black woman empowerment. They go by a few names: divestors, Black women go in their own way, which is BWGTOW, divested zealots, plus others. I won't be linking to their pages. They are easy enough to find. They present themselves as a self-help community, recruiting women who have often experienced real trauma, encouraging Black women to decenter male attention, prioritize health and self-care, and to broaden one's horizons through international travel and intentionally hypergamous relationships, often leading to the promotion of interracial relationships as a form of hypergamy. End of quote. It doesn't sound that bad, but here's where the fascism and femcel parts kick in. Where incels have created an elaborate sociopolitical explanation for their sexual relationships with women, these women have also created an elaborate sociopolitical ideology centering on the idea that Black men are worthless, and hypergamy through interracial relationships is the best form of social mobility. This is combined with the ideology that Black men have abandoned and rejected them, which gives them justification for their anti-Black misandry. They're really just sharing good old fascist talking points, though. This is how the alt-right pulls people in. It sounds reasonable in the beginning, responding to the ways a particular community has been disaffected. Then it begins to devolve, syncing up with other alt-right beliefs and behaviors. Our previous election cycle set the historical precedent for this. The Trump-era populism was bolstered by growing resentment among white populations that felt neglected and ignored, specifically after the tenure of a progressive black president. The alt-right was able to ride this wave of discontent from the undercurrent of white sentiment all the way into mainstream conservative ideology. The growth of the alt-right includes the ways that it has learned to diversify, becoming more and more of a multi-racial right, with marginalized communities bolstering their ranks as a part of their rebranding efforts. The Proud Boys, particularly the ones in Florida, represent the ways that systemic grievances can be shifted into a hateful agenda, much like the way that exile politics moved some Cubans from conservative anti-communist positions to join the ranks of Proud Boys. Divestors transform fighting misogyny into a realm of fascism. Here are some of the terms that they use for black men: nakers, bullet bags, felony fairy, conquered male, apes, nignogs, nigcells, gorillas, didn't do nothings, and Tyrones. By the way, if you're in the chat, drop any of those names you've heard directed towards black men before. The women that defend black men are called mammies, pick-me's, and guard dogs. They use terms and phrases like Blackistan to refer to black areas, struggle love to describe dating a black man, and burn the cape to advocate against offending black men. One of their favorite phrases is the use of holding black men accountable when referencing any violence that black women experience at the hands of black men, often going as far as to advocate for more black men to die at the hands of the police. They use hashtags like not your mule, hashtag not your mule, hashtag divest, hashtag burn the cape, hashtag divest or die. The biggest problem with divestors is that they market racist ideas about black men as black women's empowerment. You will have writers, bloggers, YouTubers, and influencers who are divestors, as well as people parroting divestor talking points for engagement. Individuals who are divestor adjacent will stop just short of saying things explicitly racist and will delete their comments if they get caught openly expressing their disdain for black men. Now that I have introduced you to the divestor sphere of influence, let me explain to you how it impacted advocacy for black men. During the BLM movement, divestor rhetoric began to infiltrate progressive spaces, shifting the focus from the leadership of black women to the divestor rhetoric of women wearing capes for black men. There have been many protests and rallies where women would begin a dialogue with community by talking about how tired they were of advocating for black men. This represented divestor rhetoric becoming mainstream because instead of disengaging from advocacy that included black men, activists would show up to protest against police brutality, expressing disdain for black men, or discouraging people from focusing on the victimhood of black men. Oftentimes, these sentiments would not be very different from the police departments that were being protested against. It wasn't happening everywhere, but it was enough to see the impact of online divestor rhetoric around being mules for black men and burning the cape. Phrases like black men are the weakest links and black women are tired of caping for black men, moving from simple statements of frustration to calling cards and viral trends on social media, often instigated by divestors. These takes often come with the glorification of white men as the alternative to black men. Rather than directly stating white identity is under attack, divestors say they are being attacked for seeking to quote-unquote date out into white identity through hypergamy. Alt-right logic twists the act of uplifting the unique issues of black women, transforming the sentiment into the extension of racist ideas towards the rest of the black community for the benefit of black women. It's an alt-right funnel that works the same way with black women as it does with everyone else, targeting those who are disaffected by social issues or seeking a path out of isolation. Divestors will continually create points of antagonism in discourse around the black community, taking any instance of violence by black men or a viral interracial couple, black woman and white man, as encouragement for black women to, quote, go their own way, while attempting to convince people that their fascism is reactionary because black men hate black women. What makes divestors alarming now is that they lean into the ways that society attempts to uplift black women. Mantras such as hashtag Black Girl Magic, hashtag Black Lives Matter, and hashtag Trust Black Women began to overlap with fascist ideas like hold black men accountable, burn the cape, and black men are the weakest links. This resulted in people with a very large following being allowed to say things that were pretty overtly racist towards black men, while doubling as being uplifting to black women. Divestor logic allows for one to have white supremacist ideas about black men while having progressive ideas towards black women. While it was alarming to me, I don't believe that people were recognizing the contradictions or how dire they were to the condition of black men. No advocacy for black women requires anti-black misandry. The same way that black male studies can create a whole field that explores the victimization of black men without engaging in misogynoir. This infiltration into the mainstream was done through the same tactics as any other fascists, making fake accounts, antagonizing black women, creating YouTube content, blogging on alt-right sites, creating groups on Reddit, making TikToks, and engaging in all forms of disinformation. Some might say divestors are a brand of radical black feminism. I don't know, but my inability to tell where one ends and the other begins speaks to how ingrained divestors have become. Women in general don't engage alt-right ideas the same way men do, which is why it goes under the radar. They will never commit a mass murder or blow up a building. They don't go to rallies. They are far more private, but they push ideas, especially on social media. Carolyn Bryant, the woman who was responsible for the death of Emmett Till, is a white supremacist, and she likely wasn't involved in any direct physical violence towards black people. At the same time, if it wasn't for her behavior, Emmett Till would still be here. Divestors engage in white supremacy the same way. We have to be more aware of the ways that people are being pulled into the alt-right. People can date who they want, but in this case, there is so much anti-black misandry in divestor ideology, I would be lying if I called it anything else but white supremacy. For those still struggling to understand how black women can be on the alt-right, I will leave you with this. If a divestor's white partner engaged in all the same behaviors that they did, said black men are worthless, called them nignogs, talked about divesting from the black communities, said black men are bullet bags, constantly brought up burning the cape for them, and said black men are nothing more than violent offenders who rape and kill black women, what would you call them? Exactly. This was written by Martin X on medium.com. I hope I read that well enough, everyone, to follow along.
That was great, man. Shit.
I appreciate
That was
that.
a great analysis.
I appreciate it. I'm going to come back to you later because I think your take
I'm
is
not
going
gonna say
to
nothing.
be your take is going to be interesting. So I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to start with Real Black German. Real Black German, what say you to what I just read?
I get it. It's like, how do I say it? I wouldn't overstate it. It concerns me. I don't want to see women like be all up into that. But again, it's kind of like, how do I say it? I know it's some wickedness out there that people are talking. I've seen it, I've heard it. I know it's not like actually like, you know what I'm saying? It's not put on, but like, again, it's like, I wouldn't overstate. I want to overstate it. I want to say it's like epidemic or anything like that. As far as like the whole like, you know, black men or anything, again, it's like I've seen it. I've seen it. The bullet. I've seen it, and it's not fun. It's not fun. All I can say is like, you just for me, I compartmentalize it. That's all I can do. because I recognize that's not like what everyone's looking at. Not, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of people will see that and be repulsed by it, you know, rightfully so, and keep pushing. I mean, I think there's a, like he was talking about, like there's a spectrum of it. I get that. The whole like divesting thing. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying, like I don't know anything about that. Like I don't want to depart from blackness. I don't want to do that. That is not what I want to do at all. So it's like I kind of wish I had time to go back on the last subject, but I'll just pass, because it's like I know what I know about it. I just
Against
know
them.
that
You are still black. You are still black. Speak against them. Why not? They exist. If they didn't exist, don't say nothing about them. But as long as they talk and exist, speak against them.
all right, I can do so.
Go ahead.
I think that they're disgusting. I mean, I think that they're being swayed naturally by you know what I'm saying, miseducation, you know what I'm saying, self-hatred, you know what I'm saying, just the whole complexes of you know what I'm saying, that
Inferiority. Yeah.
they're not fighting against it. They part of it, I mean, it's like, you know, there's nature versus nurture. I can only, as a person, I can only give someone so much spin against like their own personal like decisions, even if they try to define it to me, which is something contrary to what I would see. It's like you can't sit here and say that I'm worthless and that, you know, someone else is, just inherently because what we shared, you know, the self-hatred is hatred of what would make, hell, I mean, you can't make another black woman without a black man. You know what I'm saying? You can't, a black man can't make a son without a black woman. It just doesn't happen. It just will never happen. And you don't have one kid at a time, so it's a 50-50 chance. So if you don't get your baby girl, you gotta keep trying, right? So it's like I'm just saying, you can't yeah, I know I feel like there's a lot of like again, like a lot of this is extreme. It's definitely extreme. It's being amplified, you know what I'm saying? All the language models, you know what I'm saying, pick up on that, on the conversations, and it's just like you'll be seeing like screen names like random something -X8 capital X, lowercase j, k. It's goofy. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of you know what I'm saying? The whole you can't fall for it. I don't even like engage with it. I don't like go to those channels. I just hear about that secondhand. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be seeing other people reporting on these channels. I don't go to their channels, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, it's out there. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's going to check them can check them. But like, look, if that's how you feel about me, like, I'm not checking for you. I'm just going, you know what I'm saying, watch my, you know what I'm saying, just keep my eyes on you and make sure, you know what I'm saying, I keep you, like I say, in that category, you know what I'm saying, that box, clearing my field of vision far away from me. That's all I got to say. Hey, I'm going to say this about that last topic. Look, Africa, you could do it in 10, 20 years if you put the fear of Amun in the people. Put the fear of Amun in the people and see Africa just don't consolidate and just want to be just like that mass. I'm telling you, I agree with Ikon on that. You know what I'm saying? And then after, you know what I'm saying, a good period of time, you know what I'm saying, you know, things are sorted out.
Yeah, just two quick things before I go to Buana next. Two quick things. I posted this to the Discord, and I want, if you have topics you'd like to discuss, if you're not on the Discord, join the Discord. The link is in the description. The second thing, this was posted on Twitter. I'm pretty certain this was posted in response to the conversations a week or so ago that were calling Patrice Lumumba a PDF file, as they say on the internet street. You guys know what that means. Saying that he married his wife and she was only 14 or something of that nature. So someone brought this along. So I just wanted to point those two things out. Real quick, let's go to Buana, man. Buana, what say you?
I just have two quick points, and I'll be done. So and I'll be easy with this because Brother Bakari tell me say I need to be easy. You need to be easy. So I gotta respect Big Bro and how I handle this. So two quick points. So the divestors say that we apes. This week, the President of the United States put out a picture of Barack Obama, who the FBAs would call a tether, and his black wife, who's an FBA woman, as monkeys and apes. Your boyfriend and husbands and side piece who worships the alt right and say that people should look at that, they think the same way. See, Barack Obama and his wife is one big black person to these people. So if President Trump see Michelle Obama as an ape, what you think your boyfriend or husband think about you? The same way. That's the first point. The second point is this. The second point is this. If you could say Patrice Lumumba is a PDF, right? 29% of the American male population, they say 29%, but 71% is PDFs when they talk about crime and statistics. So if you think you live in your best life and crossing over, congratulations, you played yourself. Because if you think that that's heaven over there, just congratulations. That's all I gotta say. I'll leave it for whoever wants to go.
Let me just say that another interesting point in this article too, something to consider. You notice he said something along the lines of women don't express alt-right opinions the way men do. A lot of it is private. A lot of it is private. Let me say it one more time. A lot of it is private. We got to keep that in mind. Let me hear from Black Steel next. Black Steel would say it.
Well, unfortunately, I'm familiar with these these divested people, right? Um, this is really nothing new, to be fair. We've always had some small elements of black people who want to escape from being blackness. This being black is not a walk in the park. We live in an anti-black world, and there's a lot of black people who want to escape from it. If anybody remembers, the Matrix, that one dude, he was like, "You put me back in a pot, and I want to be rich, and I just don't. I just want to live my life. I don't want to be involved in any of this, because it's hard." Huh?
Eat a prime rib steak. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. So he was willing to sell his own people out just to get back in the system, right? And that's kind of what the whole idea of divesting is about. They see the problems of the black race predicated on black men. Again, it's this whole feminist ideology where you have the major contradiction is between male and female. True Pan-African, and we understand the true contradiction is the color line, like Du Bois said almost 100 years ago. So these feminists, they come up with this idea that, first of all, it's predicated on a couple of false beliefs. Number one, the belief that black women are doing so well, right? And as black women are just doing so much better than black men. And that's not really true. That's not really true. And it's really done as a way to kind of cast dirt on black men. And they'll point out various statistics and various findings and whatnot to justify their hatred of black men. But again, they never seem to have this same analysis for other races of men, and particularly white men. White men do more heinous crime to their women than black men do. But yet, for some reason, that gets whitewashed. White men have a great PR. A white man can kill his whole family, and he won't be seen as a monster. So these people who claim to want to abandon the black community, I say let them. I say let them. I don't want anybody around me who don't want to be around me. So if you want to go and you think that living on the other side, living with white people in the white community is so great, go live there, right? The problem, I think, is these people hold these type of views around our people, around black men, and then they live in the community. They're your nurses, they're your teachers, you know, they're your the cashier at the grocery store. We don't know who harbors these secret beliefs as they move on, they move in the community. That's my issue. If you hate black people so much, if you love the other race, you want to divest. But the problem is that the white men ain't picking these women. They'll sit up here and they'll say all this stuff about black men and still be single. Where is your white man? Why are you not with your white man? If that's what you want so badly. No, you want to stay here like a viper at the breast and continue to spread your poison. When you can go be with white men. There's no shortage of white men fucking black women. That's not a rare thing. That's a rare thing of white men marrying black women. That's the problem. Especially you have a white nationalist government in place that's saying that the white population is too low and we need more white babies. So what's he going to use a black woman for? What's the actress from Martin recently came out and said she had a relationship with Brian Austin Green. Yes, the one who played Pam. Yes, and she said she knew he was gonna turn. She was gonna have his fun with her, but when it came down to settle down, he was off to a white chick. That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. So these women who can't want to divest or whatnot, go divest. And shut the fuck up about it, you know. But the reality is that there's nowhere to divest to. Most black people end up in relationships with other black people. Yeah, people want to point out the outliers, but if reality, if you're not in a relationship with black men, then you're not in a relationship at all. This is a clear example of low racial esteem, and you focus it on the males in your community. Yeah, I'm done. Thanks.
Good stuff, Black C. By the way, Black C, you mentioned that they could be nurses and this, that in the community. You know, unfortunately, they could be your aunt. They could be your mom. They could be your sister. That's another part we don't consider a lot of times. Jacadero, the alt-right you haven't heard about. Shoot the breeze topic number 3. What say you?
The alt-right. By the way, that was a tough listen. It was a great read, but it was a tough listen. Hearing you read that article. I'm
Jacadero is saying you can't read Cuckoo.
No, it was more of a tough. It was more of a tough listen because it just sounds like that came from. That doesn't sound like it came from a black woman. I refuse to believe that a black woman wrote those words. That's very.
And that's the problem right there. And that's the problem.
So my take on this is I don't know who said it in the panel already, but yeah, if you wanna go ahead and open your legs to the Pink and the others, go ahead, do it, please, because as a brother, I don't want to deal with somebody like that anyways. A woman like that, I'm sure you will give me hell. You'll give any of my brothers hell just because of the color of my skin, and it's stupid. It's like it says a lot about you more than it says a lot about what you're trying to say about a whole gender of men. It says that you like they say what misery loves company. So this woman that wrote these things, whether she's a black woman or not, you just sound miserable, and it sounds like black men are running in your head rent free, and it's like, what are we supposed to do with that? You know, like whoever it is that hurt you, just go to that brother, you know, just ask him what was wrong. And then second thing is like, if it wasn't a brother, you know, go see if go apologize to your dad. Go forgive your dad. You know, not apologize, but go forgive your dad. See if your dad will apologize to you about whatever it was in the past. Cause it sounds like you're holding on to stuff that has nothing to do with the rest of us. I did also see that Lumumba, I'm going to call it a rumor, because it just sounds like people are now fishing. It sounds like this whole Epstein Files thing is the Me Too movement part 2. and it's coming back with a force. Now we're like looking at things that might not even be there, might not even be close to being there. You know, Lumumba marrying his wife when she was 16. Come on.
No, I want to say something about that.
Yeah, go ahead, man, I'm done.
Quaco, could you look up the age of consent in the
Yeah, brother.
United States?
Brother. Next time, don't cut a man
Sorry.
off like that. Like your
Sorry.
time is coming up. Okay, the age of consent is it varies. It's about 50. It's 16 in most places, and
No, in the
16.
1930s. In the 1930s.
Oh, well, that's different.
Everywhere.
It probably-
Everywhere.
Go ahead.
Sorry, my bad. I just said everywhere.
Yeah. I can't look it up right now, but it's your time now. After Jackadero's done, it's your time now to Speedy Shooter Breeze topic number 3. I'll try to look it up on my phone while you're talking. All right. I can fire. It's your turn.
You don't want to let him finish? I don't think he was finished.
No,
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't. It was pretty much done. But just long story short, for these women, I don't believe that they really exist outside of the internet. I say this because I belong to a Black organization. We'll talk more about it towards the end of the show, and all the women in our organization are married to Black men. This doesn't exist. All the things that we put on here in Omaha, Nebraska, especially towards North Omaha, I only see Black couples. So it's like, where are these women? That's why I don't believe that a Black woman wrote this. It sounds like this was the race of a different woman. That's it.
All right. I can
Okay.
fire. Go ahead.
Okay. My brother that just spoke, you're very naive. You feel me? and
Woo! Go ahead, Ike.
so if you want to know if there is if you want to know the status of a woman's brain, you look what she wear on her head. You feel me? So and you look how she dresses. That's how you know the status of a woman's brain. And if she dress skimpy and all that, she don't have much morals. If she wears a wig up in wherever you're saying upstate right there, if she wears a wig, she's a white supremacist. Her husband could be black as night. She's a white supremacist. As the dictate says, women don't offer up radical outright behavior. So that's that, right? We need our woman. That's why we have to go against their inadequacy. You feel me? Because we need our woman. It's not want our woman. We need our woman. You feel me? Women are very, very powerful. Even more powerful than men. All right, a man might have to work hard for his, but a woman can get rich without working hard. That's power. You feel me? A man can't be around the children 24/7. So the woman can teach the children to be loyal to her and not the man. That is power, almost absolute power. So knowing that, now you can know that the woman can raise an army of idiots, male and female. All right, to put it less radical, she can, are equally radical. She can raise a race of black white supremacists. You feel me? It only takes her 18 years to raise a black white supremacist. So go look at them basketball dudes that be marrying white women. Go look at their mama. Go look at their mama. And she might be with a black man, but that's a white supremacist walking. You feel me? She just look black, but she white actually. And that's why, and she trained him to like that and those. So she raised him to prefer a white woman. You feel me? Black men are loyal. If she had raised him to love his type, he would have been with his type. But the woman is so powerful, she gets to train the man and the woman. You feel me? She gets to fabricate your mind. So that is how we need our woman, because all the shooting that our women are more gangster than the men, because they are the ones who made gangsters. They are the ones who produced them. She showed them the avenue and the mindset to have for a gangster. She just too weak, but he's operating with her brain. Actually, we are slaves. We are former slaves. She don't care about that. The black woman don't care about our in general. The black woman in general, not all black women. You feel me? They don't care about the fight. You tell them about the fight, they start yarning because it's boring. You feel me? They don't care about the fights. Why isn't black woman, that's my business. I don't care about women in general, but black women, why aren't they protesting against strip clubs? I said it. There is no female protest against strip clubs, but it sexualized them. Because black women are driven by finance, actually. You feel me? They have a lesser brain power. Even raw materials in the earth black women don't see that as value. I mean, the finished gold, they see it as value. And the ring, the diamond in the ring, they see it as value. But the diamond in Botswana, they don't see it as value. You feel me? And the raw elements or whatever, the rare earth, they don't see these things as value. So that's why Africans are so lacking. Because they have careless mamas. You feel me? That only value what white people have and what white people give. So they only value the US dollar, which is paper. They don't value the earth, which is real value. So that's how women are tearing us up and tearing us apart, because they look, as I said on this panel, you have been doing this panel, Quaker, for about 5 years now, right? You hardly have women in your panel. They hear it. They listen, they browse past it. They seen it. They seen it. You feel me? But you see, like how I come in and I browse past and I see it and click because I want to speak to my brothers who is royal to me. You feel me? Just because of that, why I click on your channel and because we're in the same fight. But our black women are very distant from these things. They want to hear gimmicks and comedian stuff online and anything to get them away from real matters of our people. I'm talking about the majority, like 90%. You feel me? They don't want you to talk about, oh, do natural hair or none of these things. In Africa too. And they raise these men to as an army to protect them. I'm telling you, woman is very, he said, art right. The women are very art right. They secretly have a power struggle with black men. Black women want to rule black men. Women want to rule, but I'm just dealing with my people. If you mean, and they don't understand that we starting from the ground up. That's why they want us to stay in the Babylon society, which is already built. They don't want to prepare us for us to build our own society and all that stuff. So, because they're far from it. And I'm not blaming my women or my people. They are colonized. And what since slavery, when the white man used the four horses to tear the strongest man four ways, it traumatized the black woman and had her raising us to eat from the master's hand like a donkey, like a horse. You feel me? We're the wild horse. Once you tame the mother, the baby, the pony, once the mother start eating out of your hand, the pony, which is wild, come and eat out of your hands too. You feel me? So that's what happened to us as even black men. You feel me? Where our moms are raising us to hold our head down to the white people. You see me? And to operate on a level where we are under the white people. They don't put us on, but all right, why isn't Asada Shakur black woman's hero and in every black woman's apartment? Why? You know why? Because she is a woman that is on the move against white people. And that's not what black women want to do. They don't want to fight these people because they have been scared. And even now they are powerful. So a lot of black women don't want to do that because they are scared. So I think we as black men, I love the Sahel, worship the Sahel. I hope they are real Pan-Africanists and they keep being Pan-Africanists because we need a ruling black population where black men can have some dignity. Okay, thank you.
I gotta give it to Ike and Fire. He kind of surprised me there. It wasn't as bad as it was gonna be. Ike asked me to look up something, and I did. KW Don 7 looked it up. He said 16 was the age of consent in most states in the U.S. pre-1960. But what I found was in 1880, the age of consent was 10 to 12 years based on the state. In Delaware, it was 7.
Okay.
7 years
Okay.
old. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
So I'm glad y'all look at that because I was like, they put in blame on Patrice Lumumba, but it was a thing. All of that was a thing. It's the United States and Europe changed the age limit and to 18, and it's recent, like since 1960.
Yeah, a lot of people's grandparents, if we're being honest, a lot of people's grandparents and great grandparents, they was married all 13 and 14 and 15 and stuff like that, if we're being honest. But Me and Brother Bakari had a discussion about this last week amongst ourselves of you can't really hold African traditions and view it through like a modern European eye. You just can't do it in any event. With that said, Brother Bakari is with us tonight. Brother Bakari, you've heard everything everyone else had to say. What say you? But before that, how are you this week?
I'm absolutely magnificent, my man. How about you? How about the panel?
Sir, I'm good. Thanks for being here.
And you know what? Icon said 90% of black women, as if he know 90%. You made everybody on the panel dumb. But I ain't gonna take no more shots. But some of the stuff you said, you blamed a black woman for her child marrying a white man when the black dad ain't around. And I hate when weak ass black men do that. And I don't even want to argue with them. I'm gonna get to the panel. Dude, black man and black woman together. If the man is not there, don't blame the woman for the man not doing his job. Is there some messed up black women? Yes, there is, but you can't blame the woman for the man not doing his job. That's all I'm saying. You cannot blame her for that, for him not being around. And it's not always her fault. Sometimes it's her fault, sometimes it's not. But to say 90% of black women feel this way, to me, that's a very dumb statement. And I'm just being honest. I ain't saying
how much percent wear wigs?
So I'm gonna say that was a dumb 90%. He say 90%.
How much percent?
So now,
what's the percentage of black women that article, wear
right?
wigs?
So Koku, what year was that article written?
Let me look quickly and see. It was written in 2022.
Okay, so everything in that article come from YouTube bullshit, right? So here's me. Everything they were saying, talking about divestors. How many people have you met in real life talking about they're divesting? It's YouTube shit, and we have allowed YouTube to control our narrative of our own people. It was a conversation that we was having, Koku, when we was talking about the interview with the Pivot Podcast, what they had with Terrence Crawford, right? And when they asked Terrence Crawford, why won't he go back in the ring for $100 million? Terrence Crawford said, because he don't want him, and he got morals, right? So, but Channing Crowder said, he said, if not for 80 million, 100 million, he was like, no. Channing Crowder said, for $100 million, they can have his soul. Terrence Crawford told Channing Crowder, now I know who you are. We see your character. So watch this. He can say 100 million because he's a guy that played in the NFL and probably made $50, $60 million throughout his career because he was pretty good, right? He was a first round or high second round draft pick. So he said 100 million. Now we got people out here who have never seen $5,000 in cash. They'll take $1,000, take $5,000 to get on YouTube and say this nonsense that the Cynthia G's of the world was saying, and she had her little women minion, and even had some men repeating what she was saying. But in real life, on the streets, the same thing Black Steel would say about the FBAs and ADOs, I don't never see them on the streets. This is just YouTube stuff. Show me the people you see in the streets in real life telling you they are divesting, black men ain't nothing, go abort black babies, go get you anything but a black man. We have allowed social media to control how we see ourselves. And I'm going to agree I didn't speak when you were speaking, Icon.
I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you for a second.
Brother. Have the same respect, my brother. I ain't saying nothing when you was talking. I agree with Jack O'Darrow. I don't nearly think it's as many. The number is not as large in real life as this social media want to portray it to be. He can talk about the black women he around. I can talk about the black women I'm around. Y'all can talk about the black women y'all around. So if you around black women who don't have that mindset, Black Steel, Koku, Bawana, Jack O'Darrow, me, RBG, if you are not around black women with that mindset, what make us think that it's a lot of black women out here like that? Yeah, you're gonna get somebody who's willing to sell you out, and you can get on social media, and I'm gonna say whatever, you know, a lot of that stuff bots on the internet. Yeah, do I believe some of them bots? Yeah. Is there black women out there that don't like black men? Yeah. I don't hang around those black women. So what? Like, I'm not a fan of Serena Williams or Venus Williams. I'm not a fan of those women, but it's way more black women that's opposite of Venus and Serena and Cynthia G and her minions than it is like Venus and Serena and Cynthia G and her minions, and even some of the black men that followed Cynthia G that want to say black men ain't shit. Just like if somebody's just sitting on here and gonna say, ooh, that's the same thing those type of women would say, oh, it's 90% of black men. And that's, you don't know that. Stop just saying stuff to put one another down, then say, we need our women. I can't tell somebody I need you, but then sit here and shit on you. But I need you, but the whole while I'm telling you I need you, I'm going to tell you what a horrible person that you are, because I'm going to groom you. It's not just the black woman that been scared of white folks. It's the black man that been scared of white folks too. It ain't just the black woman. Yes, did the black woman do some things to protect her son, to protect her children because of what was happening during slavery? I'm quite sure what was happening during Jim Crow. I'm quite sure. And guess what? And for people who ain't never lived that lifestyle, I'm glad my mama was willing to protect us when my dad had to go do something and white folks come kicking in the damn door. I'm glad I had somebody that was going to protect me when my daddy wasn't there. But we know when my daddy came back, we know what was going to happen. I'm glad I had somebody to protect me. So to act like she did something wrong for protecting her child from harm is absolutely, that's just ignorant. That, to me, that's just ignorant. She's supposed to
Because
protect
you're not listening correctly, man. I wasn't fighting. I'm just showing you
I'm not fighting
scenarios
either. I'm
of
just
where
speaking passionately, and I didn't speak while you were speaking. I'm not fighting either. I'm just saying some of the things that we have allowed to control us. Just like I would sit here, if somebody, like, can't nobody tell me black men ain't nothing, black men are worse daddies. Those divestors can't tell me that, because I'm not going to sit here and believe that. Because I'm around black men and see black men all the time. That's great fathers. It's not just black women I defend from this nonsense on social media. I defend from this nonsense. But to act like this is the majority of black women, to act like it's the majority of black women, and now these people writing articles about people like the Cynthia G's, and we go, see, the black women, they doing it in private. So if they are having these conversations in private, how were they able to write the article? They were able to write the article because of stuff they heard on social media, and we are allowing it to control us. We are allowing social media to control our coming together, our doing the things that we are supposed to do in real life. Not just the black women divesting, not just the so-called black manosphere, even down to the point it is so-called FBA and ADOS nonsense, down to the point we're going to argue about who built the greatest plantation during Black History Month. All this stuff on social media and everything we'll find and fight is not bringing us together. If they want to divest, do like Black Steel and Jack Aduro and everybody else say, go divest, RBG, go divest. We don't want to be around you no way. Then I don't worry about them. I hear the mic.
can I
Well said.
Can I-
Hold on. Let me hear from Buana first, and then I'll come back to you.
but he mentioned me. I wanted to just say something to him, not disrespectfully.
Yeah, hold on a second. Buana, go ahead, and then I can.
Quickly, Icon. It's been my experience. I can't talk for no man, automatic experience. It's been my experience when I dated black women. They take on the man characteristics. So I'll take a school teacher who don't know nothing but nothing. You know what I mean? A typical regular person. And after a while, she can start quoting Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X. And I'm asking to myself where that come from. Because usually they take on the personality of the man they with. I don't know how that's like it is, but it's just like that. Now you have some battle axes out there who always opinionated, and I'm not saying women can't think for themselves, but they always opinionated and they always want buttress and compete with mine. That's just not been my experience. That's just not been my experience. But usually, a woman can take on the characteristics of the man she with. Now, when you see the Candace Owens, she is married to a white man. When you see the Serena Williams, she is married to a white man. So eventually, they can start having their partners talking points, especially if he's a man in his house. They're gonna start having their talking points. That's all I wanted to say. And I gonna fire go ahead, brother.
Thank you, Guana. I want to say something about social media. A lot of people think it's some slight stuff. Social media is the soul of the people. It's like when a person is drunk and they tell you the truth. That's social media. Social media is when a person speaks their real, who is real. It is the real person talking on social media. It's not a pretender. When you go naked in your house, you are not pretending. That's how you want to be in your house, in your privacy. So that's you. But when you go through the door, you practically start pretending. There's a bunch of stuff you can't say. You feel me? Because it might cause fury. There's a lot of stuff you have to just regulate yourself on around people because people might be sporadic and all that. So don't play with social media. People is being real. You feel me? People is being who they really are. So if they tell you on a general that, oh, we like divesting and all that, that's the real person. And if you might see them out there and don't know, that's that person also. You feel me? So if I'm not saying that majority woman is a divester. You feel me? I'm saying that majority women are white supremacists. But they don't tell you. Majority of women don't tell you, hey, I love white people and the white society. Majority of women don't tell you, but they tell you in their action. They'll tell you in their action. When a woman, what you call lives in her wig, she's telling you that she don't even think God finished made her. You feel me? She think that God never finished made her. And of course society dictated to women to be ashamed of their hair and all that. You feel me? What I'm saying is in this present day that's still a fight. So if you don't want to fight for your hair, you feel me? If you are relinquishing the fight for your natural hair, then I wouldn't trust you. I would eat from you, but I wouldn't trust you in terms of loyalty to your blackness and loyalty to my blackness. I wouldn't trust her. You feel me? Because if it's like the white man and the black man, the woman and the black man is together. But when it comes to making a choice between the races, she gonna choose her race. So that's what I'm trying to say about our black woman. If it comes to the point where she have to choose between white colonized structure and fighting for our black autonomy, she will turn her back on you. She will turn her back on you. And 90%. Because It's right in front of our face, right? Where you have Pan-African black conscious values trying to persuade black people in America right now, and back then trying to persuade black people in America that this is the way. This is the way to even have the mentality to educate your people even independently. You feel me? You have to have the mentality. And our black women club the whole of the 80s. They club out the whole of the 80s and club out the whole of the 90s, freaknik the whole of the 90s and all that. They have listen, I try to tell Bakari, you're not just a man. You have been raised by the woman. We all have been raised by the woman. The woman dictates how we think. If it wasn't for a few of us falling through the cracks to consider black consciousness, none of us would be operating under black consciousness and Pan-Africanism. You feel me? We a lot of people have to practically go against their aunties, mamas, and all these type of female.
Icon.
But what I'm trying to say,
that mommy was Rasta. That mommy was Rasta.
No.
Okay.
No, my mom is a Christian, and I had to oppose her. But I love her. You feel me? But what I'm trying to say to you is, when you see a man, don't just look and say, "Oh, it's just a man." He has a will, so he might not have free will. He might be going after children live what they learn. You feel me? And children learn what they live. So that means when you become an adult, it's what you learn as a child that guides you throughout your life. So if the black woman haven't endorsed black consciousness and Pan-Africanism, which is the answer for black people, you feel me? If she hasn't endorsed that and gifted to our children, you feel me? Then she has to be blamed also, because Asada Shakur was there as our female black hero that went to Cuba and escaped the white assassins. You feel me? And should be a black woman's hero. We have Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey, and they are famous people. You feel me? So what I'm saying is somebody is rejecting these things. You feel me? So the black woman is alive and well, and she speaks and have command. So as long as she's in that position, she should be blamed also for our problems. You feel me? Because she raised these men. Okay, go ahead.
You watch this, right? So I was raised.
Bakari, real quick. I just want to say one thing. I just want to say something real quick. I gotta give Icon a little bit of credit for something he said, and we gotta be real about it. Trigger Happy in the chat said it as well. I had it on the screen for a long time. A lot of us men who are pro-black, Pan-African, Garveyites, you wouldn't know that we were that on these jobs that we work on. You wouldn't necessarily know that the way we would just walk through the street to go home. But the internet does allow you to sit behind a profile picture and spew all manner of nonsense. So there is something to that idea that, sometimes some of the stuff that we see online is people's true character. You know what I mean?
Right.
In the chat,
right. It's the naked person.
In the chat, Trigger Happy says we need to establish something about political positions. You aren't going to get someone's political position only by real life interaction. The internet exposes extreme to consciousness. Bakari, go ahead.
Okay. Well, whoever that is can't let nobody know they pro-black, Pan-African at work or walk down the street. I ain't saying nobody should do what I do, but that's kind of like their business. Whoever ain't showing nobody. And you're right. Somebody can, but to say somebody can get online and put an avatar, but to say 90%, and then just say it's the black woman that raised the black boy to marry a white man, and these men can tell you to marry a white woman, but then they can tell you their daddy wasn't around, and you just blame the black woman. To me, that doesn't make sense. And I'm gonna say it again. And by the way, I was raised by my mama and my daddy. You said we was raised by women. I was raised by my mama and my daddy. I can't speak for nobody else. I don't know. But then to say black women ain't pro-black Pan-African, then you say Assata Shakur. We can say Mary McLeod Bethune. We can say Fannie Lou Hamer. And if you go on and we can say, where were the black men at? I can say Fannie Lou Hamer because she was a good friend of my pops. Who protected her when she was in jail and black men was forced to beat her at gunpoint and then white men sterilized her? My point that I'm making is if we continue to point finger at one and say the one is doing this, you ain't gonna ever come together, dude. So people talking about how they love black women, that's just bullshit. And how they want us to come together. No, they're doing everything in their power to divide by constantly saying, this is the woman's fault. Then the women gonna say, then the women is gonna say, this is the man's fault. But ain't nobody gonna ever say, you know what, we fail, black man and black woman. Because we're steady pointing fingers at one another.
That's all I'm saying, man.
We failed as a people. It was things we didn't do as a people. What we are doing, we go to victim blaming, right? We go to victim blaming. They victim blame the black man. Like, I don't listen to that. I didn't listen. I heard them people talk about divestors. I never sit and listen to a show. Never. If did nobody ever play me a clip or let me hear it, I wouldn't know it was ever said. You know why? Because to me, for me, there was no need for me to act like I'm going to be involved in that conversation and just listen to people that want to upset me. Let them go. The ones that want to be there, let them go. But to say the black women clubbed out in the 80s, they were not in a club by themselves. The black women was at Freaknik in the 90s. They were not at Freaknik by them damn selves. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's why I say black men like that just want to point you.
I can't believe you, but
they looking for something to be stronger than. They scatter the white man, so they feel they're supposed to be stronger than their woman. If you want your woman with you, go get your woman and bring her with you. Putting her down, telling her she ain't shit because she got a wig in her head and maybe she don't know any better. Or her sitting there talking about the black man, saying the black man ain't no damn good because he did this and did that. That ain't gonna bring us closer. There's no need to get on here or no panel or nowhere and talk about unity if we ain't trying to figure out a way where we can talk to one another, not control one another, not put the black woman down, not the black woman put the black man down, not us fighting one another to be in charge of one another. We ain't gonna ever come together and do nothing. We'll be talking like this 75 years from now, because ain't nobody ever said, you know what, maybe we do need to talk to one another. Maybe we need to get an understanding, not on social media. Let's get an understanding with the people in the street. Let's get an understanding when we go out here to the Malcolm X Festival, to the Marcus Garvey Festival. So the type of sisters you are talking about, you want to see all natural, you want to see dressed a certain way, go to the places where those women are and build with those women. Or we can sit back and say all black women ain't nothing. 90% of them done fucked up black society, which is absolutely asinine. And on the other side, they gonna say 90% of black men, which is absolutely asinine. But if we ain't trying to figure out a way to talk and communicate and say we're gonna come together without trying to show I'm the biggest boss, I'm the biggest badass. My woman won't control my woman. My woman want to control me. But if we stop and talk, you real that white boy and that white girl controlling all our asses, and we scared to talk about that. So I'm gonna bring my fear and put that on my woman. I'm gonna punk her because this white boy got the control.
You need to speak logically.
Shit,
Uh,
it's crazy.
we've heard a lot from Bakari, and I appreciate Bakari coming up here as well as Icon. Does any other members of the panel want to add any last thoughts to this prompt here?
Yeah. Jacadero here. To ICANN, ICANN, you had said that, and I don't want this to be a back and forth. ICANN, I just wanted this. You said that I'm ignorant, or no, naive. You said that.
Oh, naive
on the portrayal or the way that I may not be aware.
No, how you think about our how you. I'm not saying that our woman. Listen, I love our woman. I'm not saying that we should destroy our woman. I'm
Right.
saying that we should acknowledge things about our woman and try to change it, because these things are sending us down the drain. Go ahead, sir. Sir.
I mean, listen. I've always said that that I don't know everything. So maybe I haven't come across those women. You pointed out that the women that wear the wigs, the women that dress scantily, or just come off, for lack of a better term, ratchet, right? Ghetto here in the United States.
Yeah.
Interesting, in my
Yeah.
city, the women that
Yeah.
that do dress like that have the hair like that, they still love black men. They're in black spaces. So I get what you're saying. It's like, hey, they're destructive. I don't know if maybe that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying it don't matter if they are with black men. Of course, no, all of black women wouldn't be with white men, but it don't matter. I'm trying to say that where their loyalty lies is with white society, in terms of going against the grain. Black women don't want to do that. So they'll marry a man who is also not pro-black. You feel me? So they like a man who don't have an aim or a destiny outside of finances. That's the typical black woman for you. But if that Negro has black conscious views and black conscious motivations, most black women is not going to have interest in him. Why he gotta
be a Negro? I can't.
I'm a Negro too. It's just our name sounds sweet, so I say it. If you
I'm done. I don't have any more to add. I appreciate it. I can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A little contentious at the end here, but I think it still was a good conversation. I think a few things can be true at the same time. I was gonna do another prompt, but it's almost 11, so I'm just gonna end the show here. I was gonna do the Epstein prompt and whatnot, but we'll talk about it next week, as well as the Guyana prompt as well, a follow-up conversation. Some of the takeaways I took from this last topic is, I think we underestimate social media a little bit. I think we don't realize that social media allows people to say stuff they wouldn't necessarily say in person. And like Trigger Happy said in the chat earlier, because it's private, like the article mentioned, we don't know. We can't quantify if it's 90%, 10%, 50%. We just know that there's a number of women who have these divested thoughts. They may not be able to pull it off in the real world, but they think about it. Just like there's divested thoughts amongst men. But I think the thing, and I agree with Brother Bakari here a lot, I think we do have to have these conversations. I think that we have to have them privately. We could have them on platforms like these, but I think we have to have these conversations on both sides, because I don't think Black women are alone in the problems in Black society. I think Black men are a problem too. And we need to really dig deeper and figure out what is it really that's the problem from Black men. What is it really as a problem? Now, a lot of people are going to say, sorry, Black men is the problem. And because of Black men, Black women, me personally, I don't subscribe to that. I think you have agency, just like I have agency. I think we both are problematic, and we need to figure out the root. We kind of know the general root, but we got to figure out specifically how can we all be better, right? So I think it was a good conversation in that sense. I don't agree with this notion, and it is out there by a subgroup of women that Black men are bullet bags, and earlier I talked about the tweet from last week. A Black woman apparently says that she ain't gonna lay up under no Black man in charge. She'd rather stay up on the empire. I mean, that happened. We can't say that didn't happen. And if she said it, who know? And a lot of people retweeted and agreed, by the way. We can't say that it's not a thing. We can't say it's not a problem. But we also have to address the log in our own eye as Black men. We haven't done our part too. You know what I mean? Before you guys leave tonight, man, I'd like everyone to give a shout out for the week and talk about the positive things that they saw or experienced in their neck of the woods, or something that they saw within the Black world, man. Let me just go straight down the line. Black Steel, what would you like to shout out this week?
I want to shout out the youth, man. Black History Month. So the young people, we got to let them know they're going to inherit the earth. There were some protests across the United States. Some of the young people decided to walk out of class to protest their various issues. Whether or not I agree with them or not, I applaud their fighting spirit. So shout out to the young people.
That's a nice shout out. Appreciate that, Black Steel. Thanks for being here. Real Black Gentleman, what would you like to shout out this week?
Well, I found out, I guess, the modern toilet was invented by a Black man. His name is Thomas Elkins. I did not know that until just a couple hours ago, right? But you know what I'm saying, Black people invent, you know what I'm saying, we tinker with and we get it to the point where, you know what I'm saying, we need a toilet. Black people won't invent a toilet. Black people won't invent everything. Especially, I'm telling you, after the Civil War, it's amazing all the things that we invented at that point in time that still exist. The refrigerated truck. I mean, it's a truck or it's a refrigerator, but you got to put them together to make them do what it do. I mean, I'm telling you, I got to keep it cold. I got to keep it cold. It's like, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give a shout out to Bakari. Just as a side, you said something weeks ago. I know we squabbled, but you said something months ago that I wasn't too sure about. You had said that the Russians had colonized South Africa. I wasn't too sure about that. You was absolutely right, sir. Yeah, they did that. That's messed up. I'm glad that you stood by that then, because I did my research. I found that out too. So I just wanted to give a shout out to you for, you know what I'm saying, colonized.
How they not speaking Russian?
I guess RBG learned that Black fact while sitting on a toilet earlier. But thanks for that, RBG. I can fire. What would you like to shout out this week?
shout out to the Sahel because I noticed that a lot of guns came in just the other day. So shout out to the Sahel for that. You feel me? Also, there's a little kid, a 22, 21-year-old Rastafari kid from Ghana. He's in the University of Kentucky, and he I don't know, he made a computer brain using, I think, 3,800 capacitor or some type of stuff. You feel me? But he actually made a computer brain, so it's on you can check it up on YouTube. That's what he did. So shout out to that. All right, that's it.
Appreciate that, Icon. I did see that story, by the way. So shout out to that young scholar. With that said, Brother Bakari, what would you like to shout out this week?
I'd like to shout you out. And shout out the panel. And I know you said it was a little contentious at the end. There was no contention. But anyway, I'm gonna shout out all the beautiful Black conscious sisters that you could go out here and meet, who want a real strong Black man and who feel the same way that we feel. And in these trying times with them trying to tear down everything, I'm going to shout out Black Steel and people like him. And what I mean by people like him, real educators that care. Because I know it's about to get harder and harder and harder, especially if he's trying to teach some Black history. They trying to make everything hard. So I'm going to give a shout out to Black Steel and these teachers and these Black teachers that's going to try to hold it down. And because right now they are trying to take away the Black history. And then one more shout out to everybody who's not on social media arguing about which group of Black people built the best plantation for white folk. I hear the mic.
Sorry. There's something Bakari said I was gonna say something to, and I forgot now. Maybe I'll remember it later. Jack Cadero, what would you like to shout out this week, my boy?
I'd like to shout out.
What prophet?
Vana, come on, relax.
Vana said chapati. Shout out chapati.
Vana, come on, relax. So, big shout out to each and every one of you guys, the men and women that continue to come to Shoot the Breeze, to share thoughts, comments, concerns, also question. It's one thing to have your own opinion. It's another thing to hear somebody else and ponder and say, you know what, that might be another way to look at this. Because at the end of the day, we are all individuals living separate lives. And so we might not see things the way that the next person sees things. Since we are all about the Pan-African collective and the empowerment of African people globally, it's always awesome to hear each and every one of you guys, to hear different thoughts and beliefs on what it is, depending on the topic. So big shout out to each and every one of you guys. I also want to give a shout out to, for those that don't know, I'm based out of Omaha, Nebraska, the Omaha, Nebraska home of, Buana loves to give me flack about it all the time, but the champ, Bud Crawford, the retired champ, come on, retired undefeated. You understand? And pound for pound, he'll probably go down as, if not the all-time in his weight class, the best boxer, hands down. You understand? Again, in his weight class. We can talk about different weight classes a little bit later, but I represent Omaha, Nebraska, and we are home to the Empowerment Network. It's the largest Black organization here in the Midwest, and we empower you. That's right, we empower you. So if you are in real estate, finance, health, any of the trades, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, carpentry, we want you. So that's empowermnt.org. Empowerment Network, and that's www.empoweromaha.com. It's a new website. The website has been refurbished. It looks nice, and if you go to it right now, that's right. If you go to it right now, you might see me. I mean, I can't tell you what I look like, but I might be in one of the photos, huh? And so, Empowerment Network, we have sister cities that we contract with. That's Lansing, Michigan; Tulsa, Oklahoma; home of Black Wall Street; Syracuse, New York; New Orleans, Louisiana; Kansas City, Missouri. One of the awesome things that we had at the last Rebuilding a Village conference was, out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, there is the only Black grocery store owner come up to Omaha and talk to us about how he can expand and possibly build his grocery store across the United States. And so if you look up the only Black existing grocery store existing, again, not owned by the city, not owned by a subsidiary, no, solely Black owned, out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, he came up to Omaha for our Rebuilding a Village conference to talk about how he can go ahead and maximize this and scale this and have franchises owned by each and every one of you that's listening. Maybe even you, Buana, in the Caribbean. How about that? So again, that's Empowerment Network. That's empoweromaha.com. Please go ahead and reach on out, and we'd love to see you at the next Rebuilding a Village conference this year.
As Buana would say, if you go on the site and you see a fellow holding a chapati, that's that's Jacadero right there. But anyway, Buana, last but not least, what would you like
Yes,
to tell
sir. Yes, sir. So first of all, I'm a big believer in organization, and Jacadero always promotes his organization. So anyone under the sound of my voice, please support Jacadero's organization. He's doing great things in Omaha, Nebraska, and if you can, financially or even in terms of deed, work, effort, or whatever, please support his organization if you can. Happy Black History Month to all my American brothers. As a Gaviat, I celebrate Black History Year every year. But happy Black History Month to my brothers and sisters in the United States. I know it's something of significance to them. So happy Black History Month. To my brother, Icon Fire. It's a lot of Rasta sisters in South Florida, a lot of Rasta sisters in New York City. I don't know if you in them areas. I hope that you could hold on to one of them. You hold on to one of them. And just to remind my brothers and sisters that every Black man is a star. Even though they talk poorly about us, we the most wanted human beings on the planet, especially in terms of women. Believe you me, they talk a lot of nonsense, but when it all boils down to it, every Black man is a star. And you should embrace your stardom. Embrace your stardom, because they could talk all the mess they want, but if you pull them on the side, things is happen. So, embrace your royalness, embrace your stardom, and it's always gonna be bums out here. It's always gonna be some bum chicks out here who trying to talk negative and talk crazy. But when it all boils down to it, they friendless. They really wish they had a man. They want a man. They hungry. And they just talking out of loneliness. A lot of these sisters talking out of loneliness. And unfortunately, sometimes in their relationships, they don't have the best relationships. So at the end of the day, you gotta listen to yourself. You gotta listen to yourself, because the truth of the matter is every Black man is a star. We the most wanted man on the planet. Despite what the propaganda says, we the most wanted man on the planet. Believe it or not. So protect your legacy. Choose wisely in the woman who you decide to date or marry or have a relationship with, and move on. These women they can continuously be out here trying to, side up to the plantation master, but that's just a few and far in between. The majority of our women, they love us. And they can't do without us. We are indispensable to the Black family, to the Black community, and to the Black nation as a whole. That's just what it is. So don't mind the noise in the marketplace, because it's just noise. It's just noise. So I just will remind my brothers of that, and I hope they have a good week next week and a productive week. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, shout out to all you guys.
Let me say one thing before you get off, Coco. I want to say happy birthday to our brother Kofi. I think he said today is birthday. Yeah. To our brother Kofi.
Oh, cool. Happy birthday to Kofi, man. I gotta shoot him a message. Thanks for that, Brother Bakari. Trigger Happy in the chat says, shout out to Ghanaians for roasting Zambians who want to say Fugu is a blouse, northern attire. We also established a visa waiver between both countries. That's really good. I saw a woman kind of roasting, talking about, do you have Joe off? But I didn't know what it was about. So thanks for bringing that clarity to that situation. Thank all of you.
Coco, yes, before I go, one last thing. And I will remind the brothers of this. Any woman you with, if you with her and you talk in sense, she can take on your personality. So if you a white supremacist, she could be a white supremacist. Even if you was a black man. Ask Tim Scott. If you was a black man true and true, pretty soon she can start talking like you and she can start acting like you if you talk in sense. So don't worry about these people out here talking a bunch of white supremacist nonsense. You could take the most innocent, or let me say innocent, the most nonchalant, unaware person, and if you with her, and if you believe in certain things, she gonna start talking like you and acting just like you. So don't worry about the noise in the marketplace. I'll leave it, Coco. Sorry for cutting you off, bro.
That's it for tonight. See you guys next week, man. And you know what? Bring a couple of women with you. I'm hearing that there's a minority of women who think like the article was talking about. My appeal to y'all, bring a couple of those women next week to the program. You guys be good. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast with your host, Koku. If you like what you just heard, we hope you pass along our web address, bittermedicineblogs.com, to your friends and colleagues, and share our show to all your social media. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts. This has been a KWAZ radio production. Join us next time for another session of the Bitter Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Bitter Medicine Show, Twitter, Bitter Meds, Tumblr, Bitter Meds, Instagram, Bitter Medicine.